Welcome back to Zero Effort Review. Back this week with a couple of things I've been watching or playing or whatever. And I got 4 things for you. Got Spy. Got Hotel Transylvania 2. Got Food Wars. Got Metal Gear Solid 2 from the Metal Gear Solid HD collection. So, start off with Spy. New Melissa McCarthy movie, teaming up once again with her directorial teammate of that she often teams up with, Paul Feig. And, it's a, comedic take on the whole spy genre. It's been a bevy of spy flicks this year. I mean, you had Kingsman, you got Mission Impossible 5, Spy, of course, Bridge of Spies is coming out. The Snowden movie was coming out this year, but, we got pushed back. So, I mean, there's other ones, that I'm not thinking of. Oh, the Man from U.N.C.L.E. Film by Guy Ritchie. Like I said, there's probably another one or two that I'm not thinking about. But, like I said, lots of spy movies this year. Very strange. But, yeah, Spy was funny. I was kind of worried that, after Tammy, that, Melissa McCarthy had kind of run her course. Because I like Melissa McCarthy. I don't want her to, get stuck in a rut like that. So it was nice to see that, it's still very much the type of comedy that she is known for. It didn't, it felt fresh, especially, small spoiler, but it's been a couple months, so screw it. It's not really that big a spoiler anyways, it's not plot, it's just one's like, oh, because usually these types of movies, the whole gag is, oh, she's usually on the sidelines, and now she's not, now she's in the field. She is wacky anxious gonna have him, she doesn't know what she's doing, when in actuality she totally knows what she's doing. It's pretty great, actually. So it's a nice change of pace from the like I said, usual thing where like I said, they try she tried to use the gadgets and she'd use them in some awkward way, like, oops, I didn't know how this works, but it worked out in the end. No, she totally knows what she's doing. She's on top of her game. It's just the fact that everyone else around her, that's the joke. Everyone else around her, thinks that she's not capable, even though she totally is. So it's a great little twist. It's a very fresh perspective, to say the least. The surprising one to a lot of people, not me, but to a lot of people, the surprising thing was that Jason Statham was really, really funny. Me, I'm like, you guys didn't see Crank, did you? Because if you saw Crank, you would know Jason Statham is really, really funny. But no one saw Crank. Well, very few people saw Crank anyways, it seems. But yeah, Jason Statham is actually really funny. Like, this whole film's, just a gas. Not something that I would say, go see it immediately, but if you're in the mood for something funny, give it a shot, by all means. Alright, next is the new Adam Sandler flick, Hotel Transylvania 2. Now, see, most people say new Adam Sandler flick. I go, ooh, it's a new Genndy Tartakovsky movie. Yes! Because I'm an animation junkie. And much like with Hotel Transylvania 1, his direction is a big part of what makes the movie work. Because for those of you that know Genndy's work, well, you know it. You just didn't know it was him. Besides Hotel Transylvania 1, before that he did Symbiotic Titan, Samurai Jack, some Powerpuff Girl episodes, Dexter's Lab, the Clone Wars miniseries from 2003 to 2005, so you're familiar with his work probably at some point. You just didn't know it was him because you just you're not big on animation like I am. But yeah, the guy. If you've seen Dexter's Lab or Samurai Jack, this guy has slapstick down pat. He knows how to make cartoons funny at the most optimum level. Basically, he's a master at this at this point, honestly. Now that said, as good a direction as he has, it doesn't work if the script doesn't work. And the script was written by Sandler and Robert Smigel, who you might know better as Triumph the Unsolved Comic Dog. But that said, the script's alright. The story's not the best in the world by any means, but neither was the story for the first one. It's a lot of setup. A lot of the stuff is just set up for gags, which it's comedy, so I mean that's kind of the point. But if you like the first Hotel Transylvania, you're gonna get more of the same. It's not all that much different from the first one. Some people would say that's not great. The sequel should try to be better than the first one. But that's not what this film's aiming for. This film's going like, hey, you like that? Here's some more. And it succeeds in that. Very much so. I know there are a lot of people out there apparently that didn't like the Johnny character, the human from the first film. Well, good news, there is less of him in this one. He doesn't bother me. I kind of get why people are bothered by him, but he doesn't bug me. So but good news, like I said, good news, there's less of him. So if you really, really don't like that guy, but you like the rest of what Hotel Transylvania had to offer, well, Hotel Transylvania 2 might be a superior sequel for you because there's less of him. He's still in it, but there's less of him. He's not the center focus of the film. Alright, so next is Food Wars. Food Wars is an anime series that came out earlier this year, and I've been catching up on a few series that caught my eye. That was one of them. And dear God, this show is so over the top. It's a shonen series, basically, about cooking. Basically this kid, Yukihara, he, has been working at his dad's restaurant pretty much his whole life. And his dad gets invited to go on a world tour, sort of thing, to, do chef work at other restaurants across the planet. So he's like, bye, son. Oh, I'm gonna just go to this school for a few years. It'll be better for you. And the school is like the elite, school in, like, cooking. It's like the best culinary school on the planet. But it's hardcore. Like, they have, like, very low acceptance rates. The people that cut the mustard are pretty top notch to begin with. And it just goes from there. Basically, the rest of the series is basically him overcoming various challenges to stay in school and do better than the other students and show that he's the best. Again, as shown in series like this are prone to be. It's all about being the best, being number one, being the strongest, all that stuff. It's just that it's applied to cooking. The other thing that's weird is that makes the show stand out is that for whatever reason, whenever someone eats something super delicious, they show them having these, like, lack of a better term, orgasmic reactions to it. Doesn't matter if it's male or female, mostly females. Like, the females, like, all of a sudden, like, their clothes will explode off, and, like, they'll be, like, the nudity will be pseudo-censored by, like, whatever food they're eating or something. Or they'll be, covering up their chest like this or whatever. Stuff like that. They'll just be getting, like, I'm being pleasured by the food. Ah! It's messed up, but it's hilarious. And there's some good characters. The side characters are pretty good draw. The main character is incredibly cocky. You know, like he is beyond sure of himself. You know, it's kind of I know that there's some people out there that I've watched other people do reviews of the show and talked to a few other people about it, and some people have said that they kind of find it hard to relate to Yukihiro Soma because he's so full of himself. It's easier to cheer for a hero that's a little more humble. But when he shares a lot of the same traits as the villains, there's not really villains in the show, to be honest. There are other cooks who might be a bit more malicious, if you will, but for the most part, there aren't really villains per se. They're just opposition. You know what I mean? Like, they're not like, I'll get you, Yukihira! For the most part, it's more like just, I'm going to kick your butt. No, I'm going to kick your butt. That type of stuff. But I enjoyed it. Unfortunately, the series ended on a cliffhanger, ended literally right in the middle of an arc. Which, why would you do that? If you can't end the series, the way that it should, then just end it to where it's not right in the middle of a freaking arc. I'm hoping there's a second season, to say the least, because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the series a lot, at least for the first season. And hopefully that's what it is. It's the first season. Anyways, last thing to talk about for this week is Metal Gear Solid 2 HD Edition, which is part of the HD collection, which contains not only that game, but Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, and Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. I got it for the Xbox 360, and the game holds up for the most part. It's a little hard. It's a little hard to go back to that control scheme because, modern gaming compared to circa 2001 is so uniform. Like, games that are sort of similar all have sort of a similar control scheme. Like, okay, like if you're playing like an open world game, like a Grand Theft Auto or a Saints Row or Red Dead Redemption, etc. So some that like has vehicles and stuff like that in it. Almost anytime you play in one of those games, it's the control scheme is more or less the same. Press Y or triangle if you're playing PlayStation to get in the car. Press press A or X to do an action move like crouching or stuff like that. And all the FPS, all the first person shooters play the same. They all have the same control scheme anymore. Whereas back in 2001, if you played say Splinter Cell doesn't play the same as Metal Gear Solid, which doesn't play the same as Siphon Filter. The control schemes are all different between each series. The other thing is just there's some other more modern control conventions that just weren't done in Metal Gear at the time. Like having control of the camera, with the second analog stick. So yeah, there's just a bunch of different stuff that just wasn't part of the series at the time that in even the next installment 3 were, well, the special edition of 3, but I'll get to that more when I talk about that game in a future review. But like I say, going back to that control scheme it can be tasking, but like any game, once you use the control scheme, it's fine. the real reason to go back is whether or not you like the story or not, and the gameplay. And the gameplay's fine. The story, that story, it's not that good. I really don't care for the story of Metal Gear Solid 2 that much. It has a lot of ideas, but the main story, like the main thrust of the story, it's not that I hate Raiden. Raiden's fine. I don't mind Raiden. I didn't get PO'd about it like some people did. I think that part's actually interesting. It's Raiden's story that isn't that interesting. I don't care for I don't care about his plight or his character that much, but I don't hate Raiden just because he isn't Snake. It's not like I wasn't like a lot of people when that happened, where I was like, I'm not playing a Snake. This is bullcrap. Nah, it's like, oh hey, we're playing as a different character now. Interesting. Too bad Raiden isn't all that interesting in that game. I've heard he gets better as the series goes on, which is great. I'll probably find out when and if I get a chance to play Revengeance or Guns of the Patriots, or rather, watch the film of Guns of the Patriots. That was a horrible wink. Too bad. That's the wink you're getting. You're not getting a proper wink. But so, tongue-tied. But yeah, like I said, overall, some of the ideas in the game are pretty interesting. I think some of the topics discussed in that game, I almost said film, because it's a Kojima game. There's moments where you're going like, okay, it's cinematic time, put the controller down. But some of the themes discussed in that game, I think, are more relevant now than they were then. So in a lot of ways, it was ahead of its time in that regard. But overall, I think this because the story is so convoluted, and it's got so much to say, but it only has like this much time to say it, even though it's a game. It just seems scattershot, Whereas some of the other Metal Gear Solids, like Snake Eater and the first Metal Gear Solid and even Phantom Pain, were more direct. They were more focused on what they wanted to talk about, and what themes they wanted to carry on. So I think that's the big thing. Is like, yeah, that's the big thing. It just feels very unfocused compared to the a lot of the other games in the series. So that's it for this week. I have a few things that I'm going to announce here. I can't tell you when I'm going to get these done because they're series, so it'll take some time to watch them. But I have three series that I'm planning on. Nope, scratch that. 4. I have 4 series that I'm planning on reviewing in one video, as opposed to doing this. So these 4 will get their own videos. They're not going to be part of they won't be week in review stuff. So in the near future, I'm going to be rewatching Gargoyles, because I just got season 1 and part 1 of season 2 to go along with part 2 of season 2 that I've had for a while, and I've been wanting to rewatch it for a long time. So there's that. Going to be probably rewatching Beast Wars again, because I just haven't watched it for a while. I've had it for a long time, just haven't watched it in a while. Movie series wise, I'm probably going to be, for Halloween, I'll probably be watching the entirety of the Chucky franchise, all 6 of them. So that'll be its own, review. in and of itself. That would probably be a weekend review on its own, probably too. And upon request by my good friend Noah Clue, aka Jared Ardell. Hi, Jared. He has requested that I review something, and I should explain. A couple weeks ago, he helped me out in a little bit of a bind because I uploaded some video reviews. I believe Roger Rabbit was one of them. I forget what the other ones were at the time, but the ones I uploaded were Roger Rabbit. The ones that were redos. The reason why this had to be redone is because, see this right here? This connects to these. This was plugged in when I recorded initially. So the sound was incredibly muted. You couldn't even hear me for the most part. So I had to redo those. Thankfully, before really anyone could watch them, I was able to take them down and re-record the material. So to thank him for that and help me save what little face I have to save for this, I said, dude, you should help me save face, so you get a request. Name your show, or movie or whatever. So he decided to troll me and said, tell me how you feel about Kano's Journey, which he knows I dislike. So, in the near future, I am going to submit myself to that series and give my real feelings about it. And hopefully I will survive that and be better for it, as opposed to just coming out of it going, God. Probably going to be going, God, I hate the show. But who knows? Maybe I'll actually enjoy it now that I'm a bit more mature-minded. So those are 4 things to look forward to. Actually, a 5th one, because I just thought about it, and I'm due for it because I do this every year. I will probably in the near future, also be doing a review of Lord of the Rings, because I watch it every year. It's an annual tradition of mine. And I haven't reviewed on this series yet, so why not? So there you go. There's 5 things to look forward to from this channel sometime here in the near future. In between just doing the weekend review type stuff, Granted, I'm gonna make those a priority. Anyways, I've been rambling, on about announcement crap. So I'll talk to you guys later. This has been Zero Effort Review with Mike. I know, creepy smile. He looks so happy that he wants to murder you. And that's it for this week. I'll talk to you guys later. Ciao mundo.